Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be talking about Deltarune. Namely, today I am going to be talking about Asgore's dismissal from the police force and probably the fact that it has something to do with the disappearance of December Holiday, a novel's bigger system. Now, as I do with many theories, I asked you guys for your own theories on this matter, and as of the time of writing this, no one, sent any theories, so guess I'm just going to go on with my own theory this time around. But if you have any theories in the comment, feel free to discuss them and send them in the comments. I might even discuss them with you if I receive them on time. Anyway, now for those of you who are not in the know, uh, in a billboard, I think in the police station, it is written that for some unknown reason that Chris does not allow us to see, uh, Asgore has been dismissed from the police department and then has been given his position as the chief of police, if I remember properly, and this has been like a somewhat you know a highly discussed topic in the Deltarune community, with most people even tying it up with the disappearance of Dess December Holiday, Noel's sister. Most people either think that you know it, Asgore either had something to do with the disappearance, he did not investigate the disappearance properly, or some people even theorize that some human child might have ended up in the hometown. Asgore did something to them, and that's how he got dismissed. And the reason they think that is because Undertale, and it would parallel that a little well. And while I do think that all these theories have credibility, I would like to remind some other things regarding Asgore that we need to keep in mind. Number one, Rudy is still on friendly terms with Asgore. This is important because you know Des would be his child. So if Asgore had anything to do with her disappearance, you know or did not investigate it properly, that would probably anyway, as I was saying, it would probably put a large dent in their friendship. Two, while Toriel does not like Asgore and has divorced him, she still acknowledges him as a parent to her two children, Azriel and Chris. Hence, why she invites him to talk once Azriel comes home regarding some topic. We don't know what topic that is, but you know she still acknowledges him as an active parent to their children. In fact, when Chris brings her flowers, she does not seem angry at Chris for having visited Asgore. Just that her main problem just seems to be the fact that Asgore has you know not stopped trying to give her flowers even after probably a lot of rejections. Might I add, like he sent her so many flowers that if you look at the flavor text for the dustbin, the place where she keeps a lot of those flowers, it has become ingrained with uh, floral scent. So yeah, anyway, that depression is for him aside. We also need to keep in mind that the townfolk do not seem to have a negative opinion of the dreamers, and that's important because remember, the thing that said Asgore was dismissed from the police force was a newspaper clipping, if I remember properly. So the fact that no one, including Alphys and Sans, who you know actually they seem to be new in town, but they probably know what happened because they're grown adults and all of that. Anyway, no one seems to have a particularly bad opinion of Asgore. So yeah, all of these things just lead me to believe that whatever happened, it was not probably an objectively bad thing that Asgore did. It was probably like more of a either morally gray area thing he did, or it was like morally might have been the right thing to do, but the legally wrong thing to do. Like you know, taking into custody a suspect that did not have like someone he did not have particular evidence against. Uh, but I will discuss my theory, in a few minutes. But one other thing I would like to point out is a note from someone titled C, who like most people assume that is either the mayor or you know mm, the you know Noel's mother or someone like that, or both. Most people think that both of them are the same person. Anyway, most people think that the note is from her, and anyway, the note states that Asgore is basically overdue on rent. I think by like 2 weeks or something. I'm 2 months or something. I looked it up, and there is no specific time given, but it is given that the rent has not been paid for like repeatedly. The note just says no rent received again. So at the very least it happened twice. So, and if this is like Noel's mother or the mayor, or both, it is, remember that if some she does blame Asgore for something that happened, it probably means that you know if like someone has a personal revenge or something against someone, like the first opportunity going to get, you're probably going to like throw them out of the place like ASAP, like the first opportunity you get. So the fact that whoever this he is doesn't do so tells me that if that is really the mayor or someone, then she herself does not blame Asgore for something that happened to Dess, probably. And that is to assume that these two events are like even like correlated, which they may as well not be. But it's a small town, so oh, anyway, I'm going to stop beating around the bush and start my theory. My theory is something happened to Dess. Either she got trapped in a dark world or something, Gangster did something to her, or she got kidnapped by Gangster's followers or something, and Asgore either interrogated or have ended one of the Gangster followers without proper evidence, which led to him being removed from the police force, because he probably did so without much evidence of their involvement. Because let's face it, if Gaster is involved, like in Undertale, we know that most of the Gaster followers could do something along the lines of teleportation. So, having any evidence against them is mostly impossible. There is also more reason to believe that this, because uh, one, we know that Des is likely in fact trapped in a dark world, and while we don't know that Gaster is involved, let's face it, if you know Gaster tends, I think that Gaster might have an above average chance of being involved in this. And other reasons that I can think this is because it would parallel Undertale nicely. Because in Undertale, the thing that drove Asgore to doing morally questionable things is the fact that his children got murdered. Well, more accurately, Asriel got murdered, and Sarah, uh, they just died of poisoning. Anyway, the thing is that the death of those children was what caused Asgore to do morally questionable things. And while in this case it is not his children that got, you know, that are in that were that would be in danger. Remember that Des is still his best friend's son. I mean, daughter, and since the two families are neighbors, Asgore probably has the you know the around the same attachment to her as he does to his own children. So yeah, if something happened to her, I can definitely see Asgore, reacting in the same way that he does in Undertale, where he, you know, is blinded by anger for some time and does something without evidence. He either, um, interrogates an uh, innocent person that leads something leads to some harm coming to them, or he actually does interrogate the actual criminal, but just without much evidence, like as I said, probably a gastrofall or something. And you know that would explain a lot. It would explain why, despite the fact that Asgore is removed from the police force, that you know probably regarding something that had to do with the death, the holidays are still on good terms with him. Why Toriel would have some resentment towards him, because he has a pacifistic nature, but would still recognize him as a valid parent for her children, because uh, he did not do anything objectively wrong. He was just blinded by anger for a moment. And it would explain why his I mean, no one in the hometown treats him badly. Like like you know he did try to do the right thing, he just did so without evidence. And it would explain why he was expelled from the police force. Doing things without evidence is a big no-no in the so there is that. So yeah, that's basically my theory. I know it's somewhat vague than most of my other theories, but like most of this story is vague up until so far. I mean, this particular storyline. But I think this theory can, wrap a bow around these two storylines of Asgore and Dess, and simultaneously tie them both into the Dark World adventures and that storyline. So there's that. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.